had to shoot another introduction for this video because my first episode of this series was running too long, so I had to split it into 2 episodes. So this is the second episode. Welcome. I'm currently illustrating a children's book. It's for a client that's based in UK, and the story is written by a little boy who's around 8 years old. In the first episode, I showed you how I came up with the thumbnails and kind of the style I was going for with this book and my inspirations for the style and just playing around with watercolors in my sketchbook. If you want to see that, please check it out first and then come back and watch this episode. Then I started actually sketching out and getting into details and refining the thumbnail that I had made and trying to get really as many details as I could. As I was going along and making sketches, every time I would make a sketch, I would immediately scan it and put it into this document and replace the ugly thumbnail with the new exciting sketch. And that just gives me momentum to keep going. Basically, it's more like for me to be motivated and to see some progress happening, I guess. There were some pages that really excited me, that I really wanted to create an atmosphere and get a lot of details in there and really push myself to make something that really tells a story. Like every page, if you take it out of the book without any context, that those pages that were really impactful, that they kind of had a story of their own, and it didn't matter if you took them out of context, they would still be really strong illustrations. Definitely the bedroom scene was one of them for me. And fun to think about some little storytelling elements. That's why I liked, putting some little details there, oh, there's trash on the floor and there's a basket that says toxic waste. And I just love doing these little kind of details, because I feel like when I was growing up and looking at children's books, it was those little details that got me really excited. Another page was the living room page. I just wanted to create a really cozy living room. All the furniture and kind of objects that I drew for this book, I wanted them to have a retro vibe. I didn't really want anything to look very modern. it's like just different news headlines about this space worm attacking Earth and basically the apocalypse happening. There was a page in which I was supposed to draw like all these military men and like nukes and weapons and rockets, and I felt really weird drawing that one because I feel like it's such a bit of an intense and maybe a bit inappropriate thing to have in a children's book. But then again, this was written by a child. It was weird for me to draw these things, but then it was still kind of fun because it's like really playful, and the space worm, the monster that is like attacking Earth, he's totally not affected by these rockets and nukes thrown at him. So that was quite funny, and I feel like with this page and with others, I really managed to bring in that inspiration of like 50s and 60s illustrations and that style, especially the ones you see in like the Soviet countries. There was like a really specific kind of illustration style at that time, so I was really inspired by that, and I feel like you can really see it in this particular sketch. Then the pub scene. The pub scene is my favorite. It was just one of those light bulb moments because all I had on this page was the world was in panic, and I was like, okay, how do I illustrate the world being in panic? And I just thought, this story is happening in UK, or at least I'm assuming that it is because the kid who wrote it is in UK, so I'm kind of thinking like this is the world that he grew up with. So I was like, of course I have to set it in a pub, like it has to be a pub. And I had a lot of fun like looking at image references for like pubs in UK and just drawing inspiration from that. And then I had so much fun like drawing all these people kind of like having a meltdown watching the news about the world ending. This was really good fun to illustrate, and I it's exactly what I was saying before. Like I feel like it's one of those pages where if I removed it from the book, it's just like a really cool illustration on its own. Like you don't really need the background information of like what the story is about. On this page where Michael is discovering his superpowers, like he has these superpowers, and he's discovering them one by one, and he's discovering that he's really strong, and then he's discovering that he's really fast. There's this page where I drew Michael lifting a double-decker bus, and of course again I wanted to give that nod to, in my mind, the story is being set in the UK, so of course there has to be a double-decker, but also specifically to give tribute to Miroslav Šašek again, because in a lot of his illustrations I saw the way that he incorporates like buses and double-deckers. So I saw a few of his illustrations and I was like, this is such a great way to pay tribute to this amazing illustrator that has inspired me so much for this project. Like I have to do this double decker. Then I started running into some issues where I, for the life of me, could not draw on paper anymore. Like I was just blocked. I don't know why. So I switched to my tablet, and I drew most of the dragon scenes on my tablet. So like at this moment, Michael, the main character, discovers that he can turn into a dragon, and he flies to the moon, and he's like a really cool dragon. Yeah, for some reason I just couldn't draw him on paper. I don't know why. So I switched to my tablet, and then I basically just later on I printed out that digital sketch onto paper, and then I'm going to use tracing paper. I don't know what it's called, like carbon, I think it's called carbon tracing paper, to just trace my digital sketch onto my paper and then continue painting from there. It was a bit of a hiccup, like I wanted to do this whole thing on paper, but at the same time I am running behind with this project, so I'm just trying to do everything in time, and that's the most important thing. And then this is the last page where it just says the world was saved, and I really wanted to show like a really cute scene where Michael and his parents are carrying him, and there's like this crowd of people, and I just really wanted to draw again all of these really cool and interesting background characters, because for me on this project that was really exciting. I just really got into the idea of having fun with the background characters and having really a lot of them, and having this really big kind of diversity represented on any of the pages where I could introduce this big crowd, like the pub scene and this one. So that's basically, you know, all the pages of the book. I don't have a sketch for the book cover yet. I think that's going to come at the end. Then I felt like I was ready to tackle the main character designs. So I actually received some descriptions of the characters, but only for the boy, the main character of the story, whose name is Michael, and for the dad. So the kid who wrote the story, he had some ideas of what the characters should look like. So this information got passed on to me. And basically it said the main character, Michael, should be a boy who wears a green sweatshirt with a blue dragon on it, orange trousers, and navy trainers. And I did not draw the dragon. I'm just realizing this now. I forgot to draw the dragon on his sweatshirt, so I have to remember this when I'm actually doing the final paintings. And I also received photographs of the boy who wrote the story, the author. I received photographs of him and his family, and I was asked if I could model or be inspired by him and his family when I'm doing the character designs, so that the dad would look like his real life dad, and the mom would look like his real life mom, and Michael would look like the boy who wrote the story. Now I'm basically ready to paint. That's the next step. But yeah, I'm excited. I have all my pages here and the weather's getting nicer and sunnier, and I think it will just be really nice to sit outside in the garden in the sun and just paint, and I think it should be pretty relaxing. Were it not for the time constraint, it would be very relaxing. But I will have to be doing it a bit faster than I would like. But it's okay, I'm really excited. So that's it for now. I hope you enjoyed seeing kind of the process of putting together a book. I'm also learning a lot still about it. But anyways, I hope you liked it, and thank you for watching. And if you like my videos, subscribe. I'm still very new to this, but I definitely plan on trying to continue to document what I do and like make videos. And I also really want to make videos that are not just about illustration, but like just cute little like arts and crafts projects that are just like relaxing and fun and nice. Yeah, and I hope you enjoyed the little vlog moments. Let me know if you like that. Maybe it's weird, maybe it's nice, I don't know. I just feel like it's a realistic depiction of pretty much how my work day goes, because I'll be working and then I'll be going outside to do something else, or maybe I'll be cooking or cleaning, and it's all part of, you know, a day, like what makes a day in my life, I guess. So I thought it was quite nice to show you that as well. Let me know if you like that. Anyways, I feel like I've filmed 4 different endings to this video now, so I'm really gonna end it now. Thank you for watching. Bye.